It is time to buy some books, friends. Hello. Let me tell you, we are going book shopping today. I have a small list of books left that I want to get before I go back to Panama. And so I thought we could head out to breakfast together. There's this nice little place that I kind of eyed out the last time I went to Barnes. It's called Cecile Bakery. It's in Sunset Drive. I've not gone, but it looks so good. Looked up some pictures and their avocado toast looks heavenly. So I thought we could head out, have like a nice little brunch moment, some nice little breakfast, and then head out to Barnes and see if we can find some things. I double checked their website. They have everything I want and need. But you know how sometimes you get there and they say they don't? I think we might be there for a hot second, because if we are anything, it is perseverant. We persevere, okay? We'll see what happens. So let's head out to Barnes. I'm trying my hardest to make some semblance of continuity occur in these videos. I am back home in Panama, hi, and I have yet to show you the things I got at Barnes, and let me tell you, there's a big bag incoming your way, because yes, we're here, hi. I guess my pitiful attempt at justifying this is we don't have really great bookstores here in Panama. So let us go through all of the things I got on my last trip. I also finally got my tote bag, because I've had my Barnes membership for a hot second, but I had not gotten my tote. It's actually a really good tote. Like, this is a high quality tote. Love that for me. Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. I have been told that this book is so very good for years now, and I had not gone out of my way to buy this. Wait, is it this one? No, actually, I think I'm confusing this with Turn of the Key. 2017? Maybe it's this one. Listen, that cover's great, this cover's great. Now I don't know which is which and which book I was repeatedly told. I mean, I'm sure Turn of the Key is also great. But this one, as of recent, I've also heard is really good. So I ended up getting it. It's a thriller. I don't buy thrillers very often, but I gravitated towards this, and it's completely Sarah Caroli's fault. So there's that. If we want to blame anybody, girl, love you, but yes. And the back says, no one ever just disappears. Ellie Mack was the perfect daughter, and then she was gone. 10 years after Ellie's disappearance, her mother, Laurel Mack, is trying to put her life back together when she meets an unexpectedly charming man in a cafe. Before she knows it, she's meeting Floyd's daughters, and his youngest puppy takes Laurel's breath away, because the eerily precocious puppy is the spitting image of Ellie. And that sounds crazy, and I know the plot twist is also crazy. I don't know if it is or if it isn't, but I guess we'll find out when I read this. I feel like this would make the perfect book for a readathon weekend. It's also very short. It's shorter than I expected it to be. I thought this was going to be like a solid like 400 pages maybe, because listen, thrillers are deceiving. Sometimes you think they're like 200 pages and then it just ends up not being that. But listen, I feel like this would be a really great one for a readathon weekend, and I might just read that next week, because I do have a readathon incoming with my patrons, so that might be the perfect opportunity. The Godparent Trap. I used to love the movie Life as We Know It, and I used to watch it all the time. It's a sad movie, which is concerning when you think about it, that I would watch it all the time. But listen, a girl just gravitates towards sad movies, sad music, just all the things. Anything mellow, anything that'll make me cry. Let's get the waterworks going. And I saw this book at Barnes, and I was like, this sounds exactly as Life as You Know It. Is that an excuse to picture Josh Duhamel at his prime? Maybe. I don't know. Meet our pair, Colby and Rip. Colby is a food blogger. She is living her best life. And then Rip is a type A control freak, as it says in the back. And he is an accountant. Both of them lose their best friends respectively. And they find themselves being assigned as co-parents of the child that is left behind after the accident. And they need to get past all of their mutual issues in order to raise this kid together, despite hating each other. Romantic comedy. I have been eyeing this book for a little bit there. I was unsure on whether I should get the book of the month version or the regular version. And then I just saw it at Barnes and I was like, you know what? Life is too short. Let's just get it. And so I got it. This one was a tricky one to find though. And it was honestly my bad because I saw it at Books and Books and I wasn't sure. I saw it at Target. I wasn't too sure. I saw it at BJ's. I wasn't too sure. And then at the very last trip, I was like, yeah, no, I kind of want to bring it back home with me. And so I did. It's ridiculous too because these hardcovers are so fucking expensive. And it honestly sounds super cool. We basically follow a late night TV show writer and she observes all kinds of things as part of the industry, particularly how a lot of, I guess, mid-men, as a lot of people would deem it, end up dating extremely attractive women. And she ends up deeming that phenomena the Danny Horst rule just based on what experience that occurs in the book. Then she hits it off with like a pop music sensation and they start writing a lot of skits together and they start hitting it off, and she basically tells herself that there's no way anything can happen attraction wise, relationship wise, because he would never date anybody like her. She doesn't consider herself to be as hot as some of the other women that she's like observed in the industry. And essentially the whole point of the book is this is not a romantic comedy, it's real life, so what will happen then? And we'll see what does. Villains Are Destined to Die Volume 1 was also one I got. I wanted to get this one and Solo Leveling based on some recommendations that my patrons sent over. However, I did not find Solo Leveling Volume 1 anywhere, so I settled for this one. And I'm actually not settling at all because it sounds super cool. So we follow our main character who wakes up in the body of the villainess in a video game. Essentially, when you play this video game, you can kind of choose what level of difficulty you play in, and depending on that, you get different characters. If you play in hard mode, you will get the villain, Penelope, except that playing as the villain is super hard because she has love interests, and if their love levels drop too low, then they'll go ahead and kill her. And so our girly pop essentially has to figure out how to navigate this world and also probably navigate the fact that she probably knows what happens in the game. I really don't know, but it looks super cool. The illustrations are awesome as well, and I can't wait to see what happens. I don't know how many volumes of this there are. I am into it. I am into the premise, so we'll see what happens with this one. I found it while I was at Barnes. I was totally looking in the wrong area while I was there. This second trip to Barnes was so difficult because I was looking for very specific titles and I couldn't find them anywhere. All of them because I was looking in the wrong areas. Again, the way things are shelved makes virtually no sense. Did find this. It was the last copy, Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. She wrote A River Enchanted. You guys know I loved that book. Have yet to read A River Endless. It's YA. I don't know if I just forgot down the line that it was or if I just deluded myself the entire time, but I'm excited nonetheless. We basically follow our two main characters and love interests who find themselves at obviously a rivalry at work at a newspaper because they're both journalists and they're both fighting for the same position, and they absolutely hate each other, but they start corresponding with each other without knowing that they're writing to each other, which I love that trope. I love rivals to lovers, especially like academic rivals, like intellectual rivals. Oh my god, that's unmatched. And so I can't wait to see what she'll do with this particular story. I also know it's set at a time of war, which I'm wondering how that'll like impact the whole thing, but so excited. Another one that was a pain to find, and it was also the last copy, Three Keys by Kelly Yang. I ended up reading front desk. I actually have it right here. I ended up reading this right before I left. The spine is like super broken. I read this in a single sitting essentially, and I cried the entire way through the book. The only pages I didn't cry were the first 20. And so based on that experience, I knew I had to get the second one, and I was hunting this down like there was no tomorrow. And so I found it. I am very excited that I have it. And apparently this will hit even harder than the first one. So can't wait to see how that goes. If I cried the entire way through the first one, Lord knows what this one will do. And essentially the premise of Front Desk is that we follow Mia and her parents as they get to the United States from China, and they are trying to find jobs, trying to find a way to make livelihood for themselves. And so they end up at a motel that they are hired to administer while the owner is away, and they end up hiding immigrants and helping other people through their experience managing the motel, and they can't let the owner find out because otherwise they'll get in trouble. I mean, they'll get in trouble for a variety of different reasons, but particularly the owner, because he is a bad person. He sucks. And so that's kind of what the first book's about. Not really sure what the second one's about, but I just know whatever continuation Kelly Yang wants to give us, I will absolutely gobble, and I will probably cry the whole way through too. This one suffered on the way here, let me tell you that. The Love Wager, look at that. It suffered. I'm going to do the booty guru pose so that you can see it. It suffered on the way to Panama, so that's a little bit unfortunate because this was the one book I hunted all throughout Miami. Books and Books didn't have it. Target apparently doesn't sell it in store. First time I went to Barnes, they didn't have it. I checked online, it said they had it. Got to the store, they said they had it. One copy left. Couldn't find it anywhere in the store. And I was like, what the heck? And the girl was like, well, maybe it's just the system. Like, maybe it's just like, you know, it's saying that we have one and maybe we sold it. Like, you know, like those things happen. I was like, I'm not about to leave the store up until I get the Love Wager. And so I found it. It was actually in the historical romance mass market paperback section, just casually thrown in there. And as soon as I saw it, you guys saw the clip, I was too excited. So I ended up getting it. Another one of my most anticipated releases. Anything by Lynn Painter, I will probably read from now on. I believe the book features a fake dating trope, but it all starts when our main character sleeps with a love interest, or I assume something along those lines, because she is literally just sneaking away from the hotel room, and then they end up matching in some sort of way in a dating app, and things happen. And things go from there. It sounds so all over the place, so chaotic, but I am so very here for it. And then we've got two more books. First is a middle grade. Another one I saw on a table. It had like its own little spotlight, and I loved the cover, and so I brought this back home with me. This is Spineless by Samantha San Miguel, and I read the author's note at the back a little bit, and essentially the whole point of the book being written is that the author wants to highlight her abuelito's stories, which I found incredibly lovely. And then I read the back. It says, wild boars, alligators, hammerhead sharks. Can 12-year-old Algie Emsworth survive the swamps of South Florida? More importantly, will he keep his asthma attacks at bay long enough to make a scientific discovery and fulfill his dream of becoming a real naturalist? With the help of Frankie and Lulu, intrepid heiress to the South Florida health resort Hotel Paraíso, Chicagoan Algie embarks on the adventure of a lifetime as he escapes certain death, discovers brand new species, and goes head-to-head with diabolical thieves. It sounds like a fun time. It's also, again, super short. It's middle grade. I don't know. Just thought it would be a very cute one to own. And last but not least, I gave in. Addicted to You. You guys know I read Kiss This Guy and I loved it. I love Cabalaway. They are my everything. And while I was reading that book, obviously you get to see all of the other side characters, the sisters, their love interests, and the whole thing starts with Addicted to You, which features Lily Calloway, who has a sex addiction, and then Lauren, I was gonna say Lo, I think they call him Lo in Kiss the Sky, but Lauren, who is an alcoholic, it seems like, and they come together to pretend that they have a real relationship, and things kind of go from there. I had no idea that their relationship was fake. I don't know if it is in Kiss the Sky, because I know the entirety of the Addicted series comes first, and then you get Kiss the Sky, and then you get the other spin-off for the other sister, and then you get another Cabalaway book. It's like a whole order. It's so many books, but apparently it's a fake relationship. I don't know if it is or not in that installment, but it is here. I'm quite curious to see how that goes. And there's that, friends. Those are all the books I got on the second trip to Barnes. A little bit too many, but we're not gonna talk about it. So listen, she loves books, she buys books, she brings them back home, she reads them. It should be a well-balanced thing. That said, now I have to rearrange my entire bookshelf, so you can definitely look forward to a bookshelf reorganization video. I don't know if it'll come before or after this, because I filmed 3 Come Book Shopping with Me's while I was in the States, and I am most certainly not going to upload them back to back. So Lord knows in what order you're going to see all of these videos. If it's up now, hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this one though. Give it a massive thumbs up if you did. Smash the like button and do all the things. Leave a heart down below if you reached the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Let a girl know as always, have you read any of these books? Have you acquired anything recently? What are you currently reading? How are you feeling? Just let a girl know all of that down in the comments. I also have a podcast if you want to go follow that. It's more lifestyle based and we talk about a little bit of everything. Also books. There's a bunch of everything. That is called Talk and Talk. It is available on Apple Podcast and Spotify if you're interested. Also have a Patreon if you want to support the channel further. Link down below alongside all of my socials and all the rest of the stuff. And I will see you on the next one.